What's up, fellow clashers? It's Apollyon here, and we're gonna do a revamp of the how-to Mass Hog for Clan Wars, mainly focusing on Town Hall 8, but it can be applied to Town Hall 9, Town Hall 10, and Town Hall 11. But usually with Town Hall 9, 10, 11, Hogs are ancillary units. They are support units that help the back end of the attack to clean up all the defenses and get to the places that the kill squad can't reach. You very rarely see a Mass Hog at Town Hall 9, 10, or 11, at least without one golem or something like that. So it's just extremely rare, and we'll get into that. So this is for Town Hall 8, but it's the building blocks. You need to know how to Mass Hog, and that is the foundation of everything else. How to go vaho, anything with hogs in it, you need to understand how to Mass Hog to begin with. So we're going to cover this. I was visiting another clan, and one of their members, Anna, asked if I could do a video for that because they're just having a little bit of trouble with hogs. And you know what? I get it. You love it, you hate it. I was scared to use hogs. Who hasn't deployed 20 hogs on a one-finger drop? Some hit the giant bombs, blow up, and then your whole entire raid is over, and you get 30% or something like that. So I get it. Once you get used to them, though, they can crush any Town Hall 8 base without any problem. And when you start using hybrid attacks, they'll crush any Town Hall 9 and Town Hall 10 base as well. So, well, at least, you know, a lot of Town Hall 10 bases as far as help. So anyway, let's get into the fundamentals of how to hog or Mass Hog for Clan Wars at Town Hall 8, 9, and above. So the first things we have to understand is giant bombs. Giant bombs they're mortal enemies. This is what you need to worry about when you're attacking a base. Level 3, we're going to assume that they're level 3. When you're in Town Hall 8, you can either have level 1, level 2, level 3s, but most people should be upgrading their traps, their giant bombs, to level 3 ASAP at Town Hall 8. Should be one of the first things you do after the core stuff to upgrade. You should be building and upgrading them to level 3. They do 225 damage, which is no big deal, but for those of you that don't know, the hogs get a negative buff, or the giant bombs get a buff against the Hogriders specifically, which it does an additional 50%. So we're going to take that 225 and times it by 150%, and we get 337 damage. So that's what one level 3 giant bomb will do to a hog or a group of hogs, and they have a small little radius. So they do 337 damage. 2 level 3 giant bombs right next to each other, or what we call a double giant bomb or a set of giant bombs, they will do a total of 674 damage to the hogs in the area. So what does this mean? Well, we've got our Hogriders. A level 2 Hogrider has 312 hit points. So that means that no matter what, even if they are standing in heals, even if you have the heal perfectly placed right over the giant bomb, those level 2 Hogriders will die when they hit a level 3. Just one level 3 giant bomb, they'll be dead. 337 damage compared to 312 hit points equals death. Doesn't matter how good you are at healing or how good of placement you are. Get those Hogriders up ASAP when you hit Town Hall 8. It should be one of the first things that you do to get it up. Level 3 Hogriders have 360. Now we're at least manageable. It doesn't give you much wiggle room, but you still can heal through one single giant bomb. You can do that. You have to heal it right. You have to pre-heal it. You have to get it in time. But they'll hit you for, the giant bomb will hit you for 337. You'll heal for 360, so you'll keep your Hogriders alive. And then finally, the max level Hogrider you can have at Town Hall 8 will be level 4, and it will be 415 hit points, which gives you plenty of wiggle room, almost 100 hit point swing from hitting a giant bomb and being able to heal it. So get those Hogriders up as soon as possible. A lot of people ask me, can you do this with level 2 Hogriders, level 3, You can with level 3, it gets very dicey. You can do it with level 2 Hogriders, but you have to know the base very well. You have to basically hit the giant bombs with only a couple hogs or eliminate those giant bombs somehow, and then you can do that. But if you do not know where the giant bombs are, and you get a group of hogs going through, it doesn't matter. They'll kill those level 2 Hogriders. So don't try to mass hog with at least level 3 Hogriders, but probably go for level 4. The only other thing you really have to worry about, and there's not too much you could do except don't mass drop a hog. Don't do a one-finger drop where you drop 30 hogs all at one time, or even a two-finger drop where you drop 15 or 20 hogs in 2 different places at one time. Spring traps, you get at Town Hall 8, you get a total of 6 spring traps, and then what that means is a spring trap will go ahead and deploy or spring the units out for a total of 15 unit composition. So that means hogs are worth 5 units. So if you have 3 Hogriders that hit 1 spring trap at the same time as they do when they're bunched up, 1 spring trap can throw out 3 hogs at the same time. That's the max they can do. Even if 6 run over it, they can only throw 3 at the same time. So you really want to trip those spring traps with just 1 or 2 Hogriders if possible, and try to avoid having a group of Hogriders. So in a very worst case scenario, if you hit every single one of those spring traps with the maximum amount of hogs, you will lose 18 Hogriders. That still leaves you with quite a bit, probably around 20 extra Hogriders to make it through the base with heals and stuff like that, depending on how many that you bring. Alright, so now we understand the fundamentals of what our enemies are, what we're looking for in bases and are trying to avoid, and how tough Hogriders really are. So now we'll go ahead and figure out, when we hit a Town Hall 8 base, what are we looking for when we're going to go ahead and do our Mass Hog attack. The first thing is we have to look at that base and we have to figure out how to lure and kill the clan castle. Any defensive unit attack is going to be completely shut down if you do not take care of that clan castle. I have lost many different raids, and I've seen it done many times where a dragon was in the clan castle, a bunch of wizards were in the clan castle, and if those are not tripped and not taken care of, when you deploy your hogs, they will die. There's no way that you will get a successful raid if you don't take care of all the clan castle members. Clan castle units, unless it's just 1 leftover archer or something very small. But if you don't take care of them, your raid is over. You're not going to be able to do it. Number 2, identify those giant bombs and double giant bomb spots like we mentioned before. Number 3, figure out how to eliminate the giant bombs with either a couple hogs or another unit, or do the double giant bomb spots, or eliminate the pathing to them, and we'll get into that in just a little bit. Identify the enemy Barbarian King coverage. Where is that Barbarian King, and how much of the base is it going to be smacking on your hogs throughout? Number 5, plan the deployment and the quantities of hogs that you're going to do. We very rarely ever do a 2-finger drop. Only on very compact bases do we ever do a 1 or 2-finger drop. It's just not a good way of doing it, and you'll see that in just a little bit. So you've got to decide where you're going to start your deployment of your hogs and which direction that you want to, and the number of hogs you're going to send at each of those points. Plan your heal spots. If you've identified, if it's a cleanup attack, then you know where the giant bombs and double giant bombs are. If you don't, you have to identify where they could possibly be and be ready to heal those specific spots. And then lastly, you're going to go ahead and keep a poison if possible for those skelly traps. They do tons of damage over time to those hogs running around the base, kind of like a Barbarian King does. So try to keep a poison to take care of those, and I've seen it destroy raids as well, especially if those skelly traps are triggered in the beginning of the raid and they follow those hogs around the entire time. So anyway, we'll go into some examples. We'll bust out the tool, show what kind of attacks are being done, and we'll get this stuff busted out and show you how to go ahead and mass hog with examples. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and take a look at this example, and we're going to use this Town Hall 8 to go ahead and do a Mass Hog attack. And one of the things I didn't mention before on our previous slide was that whenever you're attacking Town Hall 9s, you have to identify and eliminate the Archer Queen. If you do not do that, your raid will pretty much be over on a Mass Hog attack, as that Archer Queen has a very high range and a lot of damage per second. It will completely roast those hogs as it goes through. But we're going to focus on Town Hall 8, so we're not going to worry about that too much. So let's go ahead back to the steps that we need to do when we're going to attack with a Mass Hog. Number one, figure out how to lure and kill the clan castle. As you can see right here, we're going to focus, and I'm going to go ahead and change the color so it doesn't really interfere with this. With the yellow, you'll see the range of the clan castle right here in this area, and we have to go ahead and break that area, coming in different spots with units to go ahead and trigger that clan castle. And we have to figure out the best way. Well, I recommend that you use a ground unit, usually a giant or a hog, if at all possible, to go ahead and take care of that triggering of the clan castle. You want your unit to be able to live pretty long so that it pulls the entire clan castle out. Anything that's left in the clan castle will go ahead and target right on those hogs, and the hogs will do nothing about that. They have to eliminate every defense in the building before they turn their attention on other units. So just keep that in mind. This is a very good area to send in a hog. It's going to be able to get to defense and take a while through this white area to trigger all of that clan castle without being hit by too many defenses. So you want to use a ground unit. Using like a loon to do a lure will not trigger a loon that's in a clan castle. So only units that can attack your units will come out of the clan castle. So I always recommend using giants, hogs, maybe a wall breaker if it's good enough to do that. But for this example, stick with a hog or a giant to go ahead and do that. So we'll go ahead and do the lure there. We'll pull the clan castle. Now, wherever you pull the clan castle to do your kill of that clan castle, you want to make sure it's where you're going, the side that you're going to do your attacks from. That way, whatever's left over from that clan castle kill will also be able to help you do some of the clearing of the base and maybe make it through a lot more. So if I'm going to go ahead and start my hog deployment on this side, in this area right here, I can go ahead and pull the clan castle to this area, anchor right here, and then go ahead and kill the clan castle in this area right here. Start the hogs as soon as that clan castle is dead, and then whatever's left over will start attacking all these dead buildings, and that's a good thing. That will always help you towards the end. All right, so next thing we have to do is identify giant bomb and double giant bomb spots. So there's a lot of places on the outside, and what you're looking for is for 2x3 or 2x6 areas where there can be, not there, let's start over again, where there can be giant bombs. And we're going to look on the outside. There can be a lot of spaces on the outside where they could potentially put a giant bomb or a double giant bomb spots. That is sometimes very tricky with what they'll do. Makes it very easy for cleanups if they happen to trigger those things. If you do fail, it's very easy to eliminate those spots by just sending in units and triggering them before you even start your raid. So the one way you can avoid this on a fresh hit is by not sending in a huge group of hogs. We want to avoid sending in a one-finger drop or a huge two-finger drop with 10, 15 hogs at a time. That way, if we do hit a bomb on the outside, we only potentially lose about 4 to 5 hogs, and that's no big deal. You usually bring about 38 to 42 hogs on your hog raid, so 4 or 5 of them is not going to kill your raid. You've got a lot of leeway with that. All right, so we'll go ahead and focus on the inside giant bomb spots. So, and these can also be Teslas as well. Right here, here's a double giant bomb. In fact, the only double giant bomb set that's possible. And here, in this area, and in this area, and this cannot be a double giant bomb spot because of this wall right here. So just keep that in mind as well. It's just a little bit of knowledge that helps you to know what you're dealing with inside this particular base. All right, so we've got that taken care of. Now we're going to go ahead and look at the next step, and that is eliminate giant bombs or double giant bomb or pathing. So we can look and see if we can eliminate any of these particular defenses. If we can eliminate this particular spot and we send hogs in this area, so if we send 3 hogs or 4 hogs in coming from this area to go ahead and kill this right here, if they are able to make it, then we've eliminated this spot right here. And if we send hogs in right after to this area, they're going to jump from here to here to here or to here and then make their way down all in this area, and they're never going to cross over to this area because there is no more defense for them to hit. There would be a huge gap right here where the hogs would not path over because the defenses are so close to each other. And maybe I should also preface that with saying, hogs will only attack defenses. They will go to the nearest defense, eliminate it, and then jump to the nearest defense that they possibly can. So we just keep that in mind as well. Identify the enemy Barbarian King coverage. We'll see that if we just go ahead and click on the altar, and we see the area right here in white of its aggro range. Wherever something gets in there, it will start attacking it. So it covers a good portion of that base. So I like to end up where the Barbarian King. I try to send my hogs in so that whenever they finish the last defense, they're right next to that Barbarian King and they can start killing him. But it's really up to you. When a Barbarian King is centralized to this, there's not really a bad place to deploy it. If the Barbarian King happened to be in an area like they dropped the altar right here, then its aggro range would be very limited to this area, and you might be able to start the raid in coming all on this side, and by the time it makes its way all the way over there, it only hits a couple of hogs. So anyway, we'll go ahead and move on. We want to plan the deployment and the quantities. Okay, so we have these giant bomb spots that we've identified. We don't know if they are, but we know that they're potential ones. So we'll go ahead and highlight those again, and we'll go ahead and we'll plan our deployment and quantities. You're going to have to look on how many defenses are on. So this is not a perfect science on every raid. You have to decide which way you want to send your hogs in. Also understanding that hogs will attack the nearest defense and move to the nearest defense. So depending on which way you deploy hogs, if you deploy them here, they're going to come in on this side, and then they're going to move to a Tesla if it's here, or the air defense if it's here. If you deploy hogs on this side, they're going to go ahead and attack the cannon and then start moving this way. So we want to go ahead and we're going to try to get our hogs to join together throughout what we call a surgical deployment, to where they're standing in heels together but not clumped up in this one spot. So we're going to go ahead and deploy our hogs. And this comes with sometimes with just experience and getting a feel for it. But you'll send in your hogs here, you'll send in your hogs this way, and you'll start doing a counterclockwise deployment, and they'll start making their way into here, and then you'll go ahead and heal up the clump of hogs. Now, how many hogs should you send? I would almost never recommend that you send more than 6 to 7 hogs at any given spot, unless it's a super compact base and you know they're not going to go over any double giant bomb spots or too many spring traps. So usually, if there's not a lot of point defenses around here, you can see in this area there's 1, 2, 3 splash damage and potentially splash damage. So you want to send in a good amount of hogs in here, maybe between 6 to 8 hogs in this area. Hopefully they don't trigger a giant bomb. You can always send in 1 hog first and then go ahead and send the other 6 or 7 after that, or 8 right after that. But we're going to go ahead and send hogs in from this area first, right here. And then we're going to go ahead and let them go from this defense to this defense or the Tesla and make their way into this area. As soon as this building, this defense and this defense start attacking the hogs down here, then we can go ahead and send another 5 or 6 hogs in this area, and they'll go ahead and skate all the way into here and start taking out this defense without getting hit by that. Maybe getting splashed by a mortar, but that's no big deal, and possibly with this cannon. And then when this cannon starts attacking the hogs, then we'll go ahead and start sending in hogs in this area. So you got to get used to the timing. But as soon as the defenses that you're going to deploy and start aggroing on the other set of hogs, then just start deploying them there. And you'll see it as we do it on this particular example. And then finally, we want to go ahead and plan for the heal spots, right? So we look at these giant bomb spots that we've identified already, and we want to be able to heal over these spots as well as clumps of different defenses. Wherever there's a lot of splash damages hitting in one area, like right here, these two wizard towers hitting in this area, and possibly the mortar cannon and this mortar cannon hitting in this area. Plus, we want to cover a possible giant bomb spot. So let's go ahead and heal right in this area right here, because that's going to go ahead and cover a lot of splash damage, a lot of point defenses that are coming in, and that also cover us in this giant bomb. All right, so we'll go ahead and heal right in this area right here. Make sure you cover at least the outer skirt of that giant bomb. We probably want to get a heal in this area right here, as this will heal our Barbarian King that's hitting our hogs. Cover this giant bomb area and also the splash damage, and all these point defenses right here. And then finally, we're going to go ahead and we remember this giant bomb spot, so we're going to heal over this area right here, again covering this Barbarian King that's going to be slamming on the hogs, and also a giant bomb spot here, as well as a lot of the point defenses that are going to be surviving. So let's go ahead and take a look at this particular attack and see how everything goes down. So we're going to first start with the lure of the clan castle, and he's going to go ahead and send that hog in like we said. At this point, he breaks into the base right here, and he's going to be alive for quite some time. So he's making his way all the way to the defense. We have all of the defenses out. You can always just take a quick look. You've got some loons, some wizards, some minions, and so forth. I wanted to show this one because a lot of times you'll only see a dragon and a balloon. How do you take care of a balloon and wizards and minions now with a new change? You can't just drop a poison down here. These units will run away from the poison. If you drop that poison and you put it right here and you drop that poison right there, all these units will start running out of that area and escape that poison. So you've got to wait, you got to hold tight and go ahead and pull them to the corner that you're going to use. So we'll go ahead and do that. He anchors onto that side, and now we're just going to do a standard barbarian wizard kill. If you don't know what that is, same thing for a dragon. You're going to drop in one barbarian at a time and just continually drop a couple. You're going to drop in 2 or 3 wizards, maybe 4 around the outer skirts of here, right in this area. And you're going to continually keep dropping barbarians one at a time and keep feeding these units, these clan castle units, to attack those barbarians while these wizards go ahead and hone in on the clan castle. But the main thing is you want to have a good number of barbarians. If you notice, Adeptus has brought 7 in here because you want to continually feed in that stream of barbarians. If there's no barbarians for this clan castle to focus on, what happens is it focuses on those wizards, and then you start losing your kill squad to take out this clan castle. So let's go ahead and jump back into here. As we see, he starts feeding a couple barbarians, those 3 wizards, and then you've got to drop those barbarians. There we go. Poison is dropped. Drop in those barbarians. Let them focus on those barbarians. As you see, he wasn't dropping our barbarians in too much. There was a little gap in there. But, all right, so he has killed that clan castle with the poison, barbarians, and wizards, and now it's time to deploy the hogs. So he has a total of, I think, what is it, 5 plus 6? I didn't notice that if he brought 30 or 31 of his own, plus 5 from the clan castle of max hogs, which is always what you want to do. Bring anywhere from 35 to 42 plus hogs on a hog raid. So he's got his kill squad coming in. These wizards here are going to start making their way. These wizards right here are going to start making their way to these buildings right here. So you want to save them. Any units you can potentially save will help you in the long run and potentially be the difference between a star, 2 stars, or 3 stars. So he's going to start sending his hogs in this area right here, and then start sending his hogs in this area to start making them go towards the counterclockwise direction. So we'll go ahead and take a look at this. So he only sends about 6 hogs on the bottom and about 6 hogs from the right, and then 6 hogs from the top, and so forth, and just sprinkling them in. Now he's got to heal over that spot. He's going to cover this giant bomb spot here as these hogs from the bottom make their way up and join. They do trigger that giant bomb. He was a little bit late with the, or early with the heal. Could have healed a little earlier. Now the Tesla was there, so he healed over the Tesla, which could have been a giant bomb spot as well. Still has one more heal left over as all these hogs are making their way around. Heals that last giant bomb spot. You probably want to move that heal just a little bit to the northeast, because if you notice when they hit this giant bomb, those other hogs are going to not really be standing in heals by that air defense. Drops the poison in and take care of that Barbarian King and any skelly traps that happen to be on there. I think all the skelly traps are probably set to air for a dragon attack, and then we're completely done. We've got wizards cleaning up. Barbarian King was used strictly as a cleanup troop. We'll show another one where the Barbarian King can actually be used to tank for the defenses. So here we go. We're going to show one more, maybe two, and then be done with our tutorial as he gets the 6th star here. Alright, so for this particular example, I wanted to show this base because it's got a lot more spots for giant bomb and double giant bomb spots, as well as some pretty cool things that we can look at as in this particular deployment style. So what we've got to go is back to our list. So figure out how to lure and kill the clan castle. We've got this set here. We can see it. There's a lot of spots we can send in hogs right here. Send in, well, not really hogs here. You want to be able to break that white seal. This might break it, but it's a little iffy right there. Right here is a good one. This area right here is very good because it will either come and make its way here, possibly here, or make its way through here in this area. Probably not this area because it's going to go and move over to this archer tower, which is outside the range. And again, this one's a little iffy as well because it's not going to break here, and sending them in here is not going to break that area. So it's pretty clear that we want to send the hogs in this area right here, or in this area, or in this area. So that's where our best bet is, to go ahead and trigger that clan castle. And then the next thing is we've got to figure out where we're going to lure. Well, this particular thing I have hindsight, so I know where he's going to attack from. He's going to come in from this side, right around this side. So we want to go ahead and kill the kill squad in this area right here. So that's good. We figured out how to do that. We're going to identify giant bomb and double giant bomb spots. We're not going to waste our time with the outside giant bomb spots, only here. So here's a potential double giant bomb spot. Here's a potential single or double giant bomb spot in this area right here. Another potential single or double giant bomb spots here. I think we've got one right here, if I'm not mistaken. I can't really see if it's too small or not. And let's go ahead and move this up a little bit, get rid of that, and we'll have to redraw them again just because it makes sense. Right here, right here, right here. I don't think there, and then right here and right here. Now normally a good base designer or a normal base designer will put giant bombs next to defenses. So that usually eliminates something like this, because no hog is going to path over any of these areas until they're in cleanup mode, and by that time it's usually too late. So we really want to look at these areas up top here where we've just gone and put it down in this area and in this area, because hogs will have to go ahead and path from here to potentially here or here, and so forth on that area, and then make their way that, and any kind of hog coming from the top will path its way into here to get to these defenses. So just keep that in mind. There is a way to eliminate a giant bomb spot in both this area right here, and let's just go ahead and erase it. I think we could do that. It's a little bit more advanced, but in these areas right here, we can go ahead and send either 4 or 5 hogs in right here, probably 4, to take out this particular defense. And once we take out that defense, any hogs that we send in these areas right here will go ahead and path to these areas, unless there's a Tesla in the middle, and ignore that giant bomb spot or double giant bomb spot altogether. Same thing with this. If we send 4 hogs into this area right here, it'll eliminate this. and then this pathing will be eliminated as well. We'll send hogs into this area and they'll path this way, and we'll send hogs in from this area and they will path to this right here. So we could potentially do that. I don't know if this is a cleanup attack or not, but we have to do that and figure out how we're going to, and that will be done on the lure. So we can kill two birds with one stone. If we send in 4 hogs for the lure here, it will kill this building and it will eliminate a double giant bomb spot or giant bomb spot pathing potentially. So just keep that in mind. Let's see, identify the enemy's barbarian king coverage. So we've got that right here, and we notice that it's covering a good third of the base. So not a big deal. If we send the hogs in the area that I just showed, and we're sending them this way to go clockwise around the base, they're going to end up around here anyway, and then end up towards the end of the raid and kill that barbarian king. Plan the deployment in quantities. It's really wherever there's a lot of defenses clumped up together, which is like this area right here. We want to go ahead and send hogs in a good amount, probably 3 here, and 3 or 4 here, so they take all these defenses and start making their way up, and then start making their way around the bases, and then just do surgical deployments of around 4 to 5 hogs at each different spot. Whenever you are confused or you just don't know exactly how many hogs you bring, if you're erring on the side of anyway, err on the side of bring extra hogs. Bringing too little hogs, they might hit spring traps or they might be killed off, and then you have to backtrack, and that's never a good thing. So if you're not sure whether to bring 5 or 6 hogs, bring 6. If you're not sure whether to bring 6 or 7, bring 7. Always do that and have them make their way around there. Plan the heal spots. Well, we'll go ahead and look at here. Depending on how we do our deployment, we want to go ahead and heal in this area right here, because there's a giant bomb spot right here between the defenses, and we've got point defense here, we've got some point defense here, and we've got splash damage from the mortar and potentially splash damage here. And then we'll just have to go ahead and look where else that we can go ahead and do our heals. Same thing in this area right here, and depending on when he makes its way down here, possibly in this area. Again, these are moving targets of which, you know, if you do hit giant bombs or not, but you're going to want to cover all of those specific giant bomb spots with your heals as well as defense. And if there happens to be a giant bomb spot right here or double, you want to go ahead and trigger that with just 1 or 2 hogs. They'll come in here and trigger it, and you won't even have to worry about the heal. If your hogs are making their way clockwise around here, be ready for a heal in this particular area right here. So that's going to cover them. Finally, you know, you've planned your heal spots, and just keep your poison for your skellies. Let's go ahead and take a look at this particular attack. So we're going to grab a pretty easy lure, like we mentioned, up at the top left-hand corner. Send in the hog there, and it is going to grab a dragon and loon. At this point, you know there's nothing left in that clan castle. That is 25 spots right there, so you do not have to send any other hogs in there. If you see a bunch of archers or minions or barbarians running out of that clan castle, immediately send another 1 or 2 hogs in following that first hog rider. So if that one hog rider dies, the other 2 will pick up pulling that clan castle. It's better to lose 2 or 3 hogs, even 4 hogs, than to lose the entire raid because you don't trigger that clan castle. So we're going to go ahead and anchor on that left-hand side. He uses archers and wizards. I don't recommend that. Barbarians are better. This particular one works out for him because they're not anchoring on any of the buildings. They're actually anchoring on those dragons, and he's able to deploy them right underneath, so it works out pretty good. Just get used to throwing barbarians down there. It's a good habit to get used to. Drops the poison down there, and finally takes out that last balloon. Now these wizards will start coming in, so it's time to deploy our hogs. He's going to deploy a giant there to go ahead and tank for some of those hogs. You could do that if you'd like. And then 3 or 4 on the bottom, and they're going to start making their way up to the top. Now this is really cool. He's deployed 4 hogs up here. A couple of them he loses to spring traps, right? And we'll see a Tesla pop right here, and there just happens to be a double giant bomb spot. So if you deploy 8 or 9 hogs, 10 hogs in this area right here, guess what? They're all dead. There's nothing you can do. You cannot heal. There's nothing you could do about that. You've lost all of those hogs to that double giant bomb spot. So that is a reason why we don't do those one finger large drops there. He goes and sends his hogs in there. They're going to go ahead and go down to this Tesla, and then they trigger the double giant bomb, and they are eliminated. If you have a heal for that spot, it doesn't matter. They're all dead. So just keep that in mind. You cannot do those one finger drops, otherwise you lose 15 hogs right off the bat. We're going to sending our hogs in clockwise around here, just throwing in 4 to 5 hogs all around the base. Sends his Barbarian King to start tanking for those bottom hogs. Late on that heal, but the right area, sending in that heal right on that spot of that single giant bomb. We now know that there is only one giant bomb spot left, right up that top corner that was just triggered, because the other two have already been triggered. So that makes our heals a lot simpler. We just have to heal over that one giant bomb spot that just was triggered, and then we've got one more heal left over for wherever the defense clump is, and we don't have to worry about any other giant bombs. So we've got a bunch of skellies here, so it'd be a very good idea at this area to go ahead and drop in a poison right here to hit that king and all these little skelly traps right there, and go ahead and start eliminating them. So that's exactly where you want to do that, right where the hogs are going to get stuck on a defense. So they cover that skelly. There he goes, drops the poison. The skellies are in poison, the king's in poison, and drops that final heal where all those last defenses are. Those skellies and giant, the Barbarian King is standing in the poison, and these hogs really are able to take him out very quickly and continue with the rest of the cleanup of the raid. So very nice attack, nice use of heals, nice use of poison. I think this was a first attack, which is why he was laid up on that top giant bomb spot. So just goes to prove, how you do that surgical. Do not deploy one finger drops. I've seen it so many times, and that ends raids real quick. You've got plenty of hogs. Let's go ahead and check out how many hogs he's brought in. We really haven't covered that yet. So he's got 34 hogs of his own and 5 of the max hogs, which is going to do more damage than the other max hogs previously did before the update. So he's bringing a total of 39 hogs. Losing 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 here and there is not going to destroy your raid. That was one of the toughest things that I had. I thought I needed to have like 30 hogs in one spot to be able to succeed. If you do your surgical deployment, err on the side of where you're throwing in a little bit more hogs than less, but you got plenty of hogs. If you're deploying 6 hogs at each different area for 40 hogs, if you're bringing them, that's a lot of hogs. I mean, you can bring pretty much 8 sets of hogs, of 6 hogs with that kind of deployment. Maybe a little less, like seven sets of 6 groups of hogs to be able to do that. So that's a lot, and you can go a little heavy on one spot and a little lighter on some. If your hogs are doing great, not hitting too many spring traps, maybe send in 3 or 4 hogs on one defense instead of 5 or 6. But you'll get used to that. But definitely, don't throw all your hogs in one area. We're going to take a look at one more example, and then we'll be done with this tutorial. Alright, so we're going to show just a couple more attacks, but I'm not going to go through the whole step-by-step process. Hopefully you all know this by now. I just want to show, when I talk about eliminating giant bomb and double giant bomb spots, we're going to see an example of that right here. So, and also, one of the things I didn't mention, but you should be getting used to it, just take a screenshot of the composition and the spells. Always bring 3 heals, 2 poisons when you're using a Mass Hog. When you start doing variations of it, like Go-Hos and Go-Vahos and Holos, and start adding mixed hybrid attacks, then you can mix and change. Some people get bored when they're really used to Mass Hogging. They'll bring, maybe a Rage in there or something, or a Healer, and do that. But until you get super comfortable with it, 3 heals, 2 poisons. That's the perfect solution, and anywhere between 35 hogs to 45 hogs is what we're going to bring. In this particular one, we're going to go ahead and see. I think this is actually a first hit because what's going to happen here is he's going to bring his hogs in up from the top right and the bottom left and try to trigger giant bombs to get those spots. And let's go ahead and check this out. So he'll send one hog in from the top, and lo and behold, we'll see, boom, we've got a double giant bomb right there. It is taken out. At this point, if you can eliminate a double giant bomb set and with one hog, you've beaten the base. This base is beat at this point with another 30 something hogs left, 38 hogs left, or 37 hogs left, whatever it may be, or I'm sorry, 36 hogs left. There's no way this base cannot be beat unless you just completely botch your heals and you don't heal at all, or you like have all your hogs over that one giant bomb. So he's going to send a hog in here to get the lure, also to try to trigger a giant bomb there. Very easy lure, so we'll go ahead and fast forward this and just play it in 2 times speed once the hogs are deployed, and just show how it goes. We'll go ahead and kill the clan castle dragon with that. He'll deploy those hogs from the bottom. He doesn't really have to worry about the full surgical type of thing because there's no double giant bomb sets to hit anymore. They've already been taken care of, so he can go heavy on his hogs when he's doing this. He's deploying them in a counterclockwise. There's a Tesla. He heals over that giant bomb spot, which there happens to be a giant bomb, and now he can just go really heavy after they hit that giant bomb. He's got 2 heals left and nothing to worry about. There's no more giant bombs to worry about. The only thing I would do different is when you drop your poison, drop a poison where the hogs are going to be stuck at a group of defenses. So right here, when they're going against that sweeper and air defense, at that point right there, before they get to those 2 defenses, drop the poison on top of that. It's almost like a pre-heal, but you're pre-healing for the skeletons to kill them in the king. So drop it right before they get to that defense, drop it on top. They'll be stuck there for about 5 seconds or so, and they will kill all the skellies, as they didn't get everything on that. It's just a little bit of nitpicking. It's still a 3-star. It's a very nice attack, and he takes care of everything. And you know, it's a good attack. Just what you could do is just a little bit better. As you'll see here, some of the hogs he loses to the king, and you know, he loses just a couple to the skelly traps before. So anyway, that's one. Let's go ahead and take a look at 2 more, but we'll go fast with this. We're going to go ahead and scout this one out, because the same thing happens here, eliminating giant bomb spots on entry, and this is a very common ring type base where the hogs are supposed to go around the outer ring before they get into the inner part of it, and that outer ring has all the spring traps. So let's go ahead and check out this particular replay. And he'll go ahead and send a hog in there from the bottom to get the lure and trip the giant bomb. So there's 1 giant bomb that's eliminated. There we go, another one eliminated. So we've got 2 giant bombs. That means no giant bombs are left. He's got the skelly trap along with the clan castle lure, so that's just perfect. There can be no more double giant bomb spots because there's only 1 more giant bomb. So at this point, the base is crushed again. We've got 37 hogs left in the bag, which is absolutely tons of hogs for a base that only has 1 more giant bomb. And what he can do here is what we're going to call, it's called the Asian wall. You want to try never to drop a 1-finger or a 2-finger drop with 15 hogs all at one time, just so they don't hit all the spring traps and everything else. So he's just going to hold down his finger and go all the way up from the bottom up to the top and drop in a bunch of hogs to go in from the 6 o'clock to the 9 o'clock area, and just Asian wall it, and they'll all come in towards the different defenses. He can heal over that last giant bomb spot, which happened to be a double giant bomb spot, triggered 1 at a time, and then he could just watch these hogs all go towards that core and just heal appropriately. This is, you know, keep a look at your hogs, find out what you're doing, and you've got plenty of hogs to make it through the rest of this base. He's dropped the king in there to start tanking for some of these defenses, has probably about 15 to 20 hogs left over here, and they're standing in heals. He is going to lose. See, he loses 3 hogs at a time for the spring trap because there's so many, but because there's no potential of losing any to giant bombs, another 3 lost right there. Because he has no potential to lose it to giant bombs or double giant bombs, he can afford to lose those hogs. It's no big deal. So we're making our way through the cleanup here. Very, very nice. So you can use that Asian wall technique when you know that there's only single giant bomb spots throughout the base, or you've already eliminated the double giant bomb spot. So that's a good method as well. And let's go ahead and take a look at just one more, and then we'll be finished with this. Alright, so for this example, we're going to show you what you would do if you do not have easy access to trigger that clan castle. And I'm not sure why it was done this way. If you look at this base, it actually has a pretty easy lure up top right here to grab that lure, bust into here or anywhere like around this area where it would come to either one of these sides. But for some reason we do a lure where it actually you have to kill a defense, and then there's let's just see where the range is for this, because he does have an anchor all the way towards the end as well. But let's kill two birds with one stone here. Let's imagine you don't have the builder huts on, or at least that one builder hut on the top and the bottom, or any anchor place. Get rid of that stuff. Okay, so he actually has three anchor spots, but let's get rid of those builder huts and say this is a base with no anchor spots. Those builder huts are not in each of the corners, and there's really no place for you to anchor without getting hit by one of the defenses. So this is how you would handle that base. So it's a great example. You're going to want to come in at a spot wherever you're going to do that kill squad, and he's going to bring 4 hogs right here that are going to come up to this cannon, eliminate this particular defense. And at this point, when this defense is eliminated, any of these spots or any of these buildings can be anchored on without any defenses hitting them. The cannon will be down, and it's out of the range of anything else that's in the area. Let's just check out the range of this cannon. Yeah, so you can drop your anchor down in anywhere on the bottom here, and it's absolutely no problem. Right here, and right here, and anchor in those spots. So this is exactly what he does. So if you can't get to that clan castle easily and you have to eliminate a defense, use at least a minimum of 3, but probably 4 is the safer bet. And we'll go ahead and check this particular attack out and see how that is done. So we'll watch the attack here, and we'll watch the 4 hogs come from the bottom. And there we go with the hogs. I think it's 3 hogs there, because there's not too much point defense that's going to hit them, so that's absolutely no problem. If they go into the air defense or the sweeper and get that taken care of, triggers a skelly trap, which is always great too. And then we'll go ahead and do the clan castle kill. Drops the poison, wizards, and all that kind of stuff. And then we're going to go ahead and do a kind of surgical. Now, notice he loses his hogs. I think he sent 3 hogs in there, and then hits a giant bomb. At that point, it's okay to just toss them away. You've got 24 plus 5, so you've got 29 more hogs, and you've only got 2 giant bombs left in the base, which is great odds for you. So he decides not to waste a heal, because those heals are very important to keep. You want to heal a good amount of hogs, at least like 6 to 10 hogs and a heal minimum. You don't want to heal 3 hogs or 4 hogs. It's just a waste of a heal. So he's going to drop in these hogs, and look at all these defenses are hitting the bottom hogs. So go ahead and surgically deploy them on a clockwise manner. Uses that first heal with a good amount of hogs that are already in there and coming into that heal. So that's very important too. So it continues to use the surgical deployment of these hogs. Uses that second heal where there's a good clump of defenses, both point and splash, and then he can deploy all the rest of his hogs there on the bottom. Throw his Barbarian King there to go ahead and tank, and then he heals over that last giant bomb spot. And he's got 1,000,000 hogs to go ahead and do that with. Has a poison. Really should drop the poison yesterday. It's not necessary. He has so many hogs it makes no difference. But it would just been a good use of that poison. So again, crushes this base. So hopefully you all get used to it. This is the kind of troop composition you want to bring. I like to bring a little bit less cleanup, like get rid of those minions, as many hogs as you can bring. Minions, hogs, minions, goblins, get rid of them. archers. There's no reason why you should have 3 archers unless you're just using them for that those builder huts in the corner, so that's actually very good for this particular base. But if you don't have builder huts in the corner, don't bring those archers. Just bring enough for the clan castle kill, which is probably between 6 to 8 barbarians. Maybe you can get away with a little less, but it's better to make sure you get that clan castle taken care of than to have hope that you brought a couple extra barbarians and lose the raid. So if you're really good, really comfortable with it, between 4 to 6 barbarians is good enough. But if you're kind of getting used to it and you're not comfortable with it and you want to make sure you get that clan castle killed, bring between 6 to 8 barbarians. Anywhere between 4 to 7 wizards is pretty good. Again, as good as the better that you get, the less you need to bring. And then just bring the rest hogs. I mean, I like to say try to bring around 35 to 37 hogs of your own, with the 5 in the clan castle. So anywhere between 41 to 45 hogs is a good amount, and it gives you a lot of leeway, and that way you can lose some hogs to traps and bombs and stuff like that and not have to sweat it. So just get used to these compositions, practice them, bring them on farming raids if you want to. You can always mass hog any Town Hall 8 and get used to the deployments and get used to that kind of stuff. Doing it on the fly is sometimes better than having to prepare, because that way you get used to having to change your plan depending on where the giant bombs are and things like that. So hopefully this was a help to you all. Practice, practice, practice. Go over those 7 points of what you need to look at before you hit a Town Hall 8 base in Clan Wars. Get used to how many hogs you need to deploy with how many defenses are around in those deployment areas, and just go ahead and practice, but don't be scared to use it. It is the foundation, the building blocks of all the other attacks you're going to start doing later on in Town Hall 8, Town Hall 9, Town Hall 10, and Town Hall 11. Everything is used with, if it's not air, you're going to use hogs in it at some point with the Gohos, the Govahos, anything else that you do. And you got to get used to that surgical deployment and being able to take care of it. So go ahead, practice it. Get those 6-star clan wars and practice those 3-star attacks.